Hello students, it is my pleasure to give you this tutorial class. In this lesson, we're going to study social behavior. What is social behavior? Social behavior is a set of interaction between two or more individuals of the same species that modify the behavior in the way beneficial to the group as a whole. Since social behavior is innate, it has survival value to the species as a whole. This social behavior is found in a wide varieties of animals that include some invertebrates, fishes, mammals, and birds. Some of the benefits of social behavior are that it allows social animals to form stable groups. That means due to many different reasons, such as establishment of hierarchies or picking order, many social animals within the group try to reduce intraspecific competition or intraspecific aggression for the available resources. In this case, most social animals try to develop stable groups. The second benefit is social behavior allows social animals to improve effectiveness of reproduction and parenting through courtship behavior and pair bond formation. Since courtship behavioral patterns and pair bond formation are innate, this helps opposite sexes within the group to manifest love and form strong pair bonds that results in mating and reproduction. The pair bond that is formed between two opposite sexes or parents helps them to rear or look after their young effectively and cooperatively. Social behavior help social animals to forage more efficiently, especially when source of food are localized. Example, dolphins often surround shoals of fish and take turns to swim quickly in and eat the fish trapped in the center of the shoal. Second example, lions hunt in small groups when hunting large, powerful prey, such as wild beasts. Social behavior again helps social animals to protect themselves against attack more effectively. For example, baboons cooperate to fight off a leopard, which would be extremely difficult for a single baboon to fight off a single leopard. Social behavior allows social animals to increase the chance of surviving a migration. Some birds travel in large groups. For example, geese fly in a V-shaped formation, which reduces total wind resistance on the birds. In this case, the lead position must be rotated because this is the position that receives the most wind resistance. This means birds that were at the front must get back to behind the group and the birds that were behind must come to the front position to get and save energy. Social behavior also increase the chance of surviving in extreme conditions. For example, some birds like penguin huddle together in a very cold weather. This effectively reduces the overall surface area to volume ratio and can reduce heat loss by up to 50%. In this case, the birds constantly change position as the ones at the outside of the group lose heat most rapidly. This social behavior allows social animals to communicate across long distance when they are attacked or other situation. That means when all members of A social animals shout at once due to many different environmental situations. They can be heard across long distance. There are some species of animals like honeybees and bumblebees in which members of the social group or colony show or exhibit complete interdependence, what is called eusociality or true sociality. Eusociality is a strong social interaction in which members of a group are able to live independently. Eusociality or true sociality has three main features. The first is there is cooperation in caring or look after the offspring. In this case, many individuals are cooperating to take care of or look after offspring of one members of the group or colony. That means all members of the social group or colony feel responsible to look after offsprings that are not their own. The second features is there are usually several generations in the colony so that it will sustain for longer and allow offspring to assist parents. And the third characteristics is division of labor. Every members in the social group or colony has responsibility or specialization. So each member does its responsibility. From the species of animals that show or exhibit EU sociality or true sociality, let us see honeybee. In the honeybee colony, there are three types of colony members or castes. The first one is queen, truly reproductively active female. The second caste is drones. This is also reproductively active male. The third types or castes is worker bees. These worker bees are reproductively non-active females, each with their own specialization and place in honeybee society. When we see nesting of honeybees nest or live in large cavities or beehives, such as hollowed out trees or man made beehives, just as readily as a hollow tree trunk, or other enclosed spaces like gota, which is traditionally made from cattle dung or feces, and top bar box hives. Honeybees in their beehives build vertical sheets of hexagonal honeycomb, which is made from wax secreted by glands in the abdomens of worker bees. This hexagonal honeycomb contain individual hexagon or what we call a cell where honey and pollen are stored and which can also be a home for a single developing bee larvae. The first types of colony members or castes in honeybee colonies is queen bee. There are one queen bee in the honeybee colony. A queen has been doing the following tasks or responsibilities. The first one is laying eggs. The second, reign over the nest or administer members of the colony. The third responsibility is produce powerful pheromones that provide part of the social glue which holds honeybees' life together. Sometimes the queen also make aggressive attack on matured involuntary worker bees. Honeybee eggs are hatched regardless of whether they are fertilized or not. The female bees or queens develop from fertilized eggs that contain 32 diploid chromosomes. When we say structures of queen bee, unlike worker and drone bee, it has large and long abdomen. This is because queen bee is responsible to lay eggs. A 2-day-old larva is selected by the workers to be reared as the queen. The queen will emerge from her cell about 11 days later to mate in flight with approximately 18 drone or male bees. During this mating, the queen receives several million sperm cells which last her entire lifespan of nearly 2 years. The queen starts to lay eggs about 10 days after mating. A productive queen can lay 3,000 eggs in a single day. The second type of colony members or caste is worker bees. Worker bees develop from fertilized eggs that contain 32 diploid chromosomes. In the colony, there are about 10,000 to 50,000 worker bees. Worker bees have different roles or responsibilities at different stages of development. After emergence or hatching from the honeycomb or at the first days of the first week, worker bees become responsible to clean out dirty honeycombs. When they become about 1 week aged, they become responsible to feed larvae. In the first days of the second week age, the worker bee's role become build honeycomb. At about 2 week age, they become responsible to receive food from the incoming foragers. In the first days of the third week, worker bees guard or protect the hive. At about 3 week age, the worker bees become responsible to remove corpses or dead remains of bees. After 3 week age onward, throughout their lifespan, which is about 5 to 7 weeks, the worker bees become responsible to forage for nectar, pollen, and water. When we say structures of worker bees, the abdomen is shorter than the queen. As we can see, the abdomen is almost equal in length with wings. The third types of colony members or castes is the drones or males that develop from unfertilized egg which contain only one set of 16 chromosomes from their mother. This reproduction by the development of unfertilized eggs is called parthenogenesis. In the colony, there are about 100 to 200 drones. Drones are stout male bees that have no stingers. Drones do not collect food or pollen from flowers. Their sole purpose or responsibility is to mate with the queen. If the colony face shortage of food, drones are often kicked out of the hives or removed from the hive. When we say the structure of drone as compared with worker bees and queen bees, its abdomen is short enough and the wing is longer than the abdomen. Honeybee communication. Worker bees communicate to each other to convey information about food source via round dance, waggle dance, and sound. The first ways of conveying information about the direction and distance of the food source is round dance. Round dance is a circular movement or circular dance mechanism in which the foragers convey or give information about food source for others who were in the hive when the food source is accessed less than 50 meters from the hive, which is nearer to the hive. When the food source is far from 50 meters away, the worker bees use a waggle dance or wag dance. In this case, forager worker bees perform a wag dance or waggle dance on the honeycomb to inform other worker bees about the direction of the nectar source and its distance. The dance takes the form of a figure of number 8 on the vertical face of the honeycomb. The information about the nectar is conveyed in two ways. The first way is the angle of the dance away from the vertical sheets of the honeycomb corresponds with the angle of the nectar from the sun. The second way is the length of the straight run part of the dance is proportional to the distance of the nectar or food source from the nest. The third mechanism of conveying information about the food source is sound. Recent research shows that worker bees use sound to inform the distance of the food source and to recruit other workers. In this case, the length of the sound production by foraging workers is proportional to the distance to a food source.